In ancient Sparta, a society renowned for its military prowess and strict discipline, young boys were raised under a unique system designed to produce the most skilled and resilient warriors in all of Greece. This system, known as the Agoge, was a rigorous education and training program that began at the age of 7. The goal of the Agoge was not only to create brave and formidable soldiers, but also to instill in these boys qualities such as self-discipline, endurance, cunning, and resourcefulness. One of the most curious and telling practices within this system was the encouragement of stealing food, an activity that served a deeper purpose than mere sustenance. The Spartan state provided only limited food to boys in the Agoge, intentionally keeping them slightly underfed. This scarcity was meant to push the boys to fend for themselves, forcing them to hone their survival skills. Stealing food became a necessity and was not only tolerated, but also encouraged by the Spartan authorities. However, there was a significant caveat. While the act of stealing itself was permitted and even seen as a sign of cleverness, being caught in the act was considered a failure and was severely punished. The reasoning behind this peculiar practice lay in the emphasis Sparta placed on stealth and resourcefulness, key qualities for a soldier. In a battle or on a military campaign, a Spartan warrior would often need to operate behind enemy lines, sometimes cut off from supplies. Stealing food was seen as a way to teach the boys how to survive under difficult conditions without relying on others. By encouraging them to steal, the Spartans were honing their ability to think quickly, act silently, and escape without detection, traits essential for a soldier's success. However, getting caught stealing was considered a grave mistake because it indicated carelessness, lack of stealth, and an inability to adapt to difficult situations. The Spartans believed that in warfare, being discovered by the enemy could result in capture or death, and thus boys who were caught stealing were whipped and humiliated in front of their peers. This punishment reinforced the idea that the ability to act covertly and remain undetected was as important as the act of theft itself. A famous story often told about the Spartan training involves a boy and a fox. According to the tale, a Spartan boy, in his effort to steal food, caught a fox and hid it under his cloak. When he was approached by an adult, the boy did not confess to his theft or allow the fox to escape, even as the animal began to claw and bite him under the cloak. The boy endured the pain and remained silent, eventually dying from his injuries. This story became a symbol of the extreme stoicism, endurance, and discipline that Spartan boys were expected to demonstrate. It highlighted how far they were willing to go to avoid the shame of being caught. The Agoge was not solely focused on stealth and survival skills, but stealing food played a vital role in shaping the mentality of a Spartan warrior. This practice encouraged cunning and taught boys to be self-reliant, to always be aware of their surroundings, and to operate with precision and secrecy, essential traits for soldiers who would later fight in the tight phalanx formations or behind enemy lines. The punishments for being caught were not limited to mere whipping. The humiliation and loss of honor associated with failure were seen as more severe. The Spartans valued honor and reputation above all else, and the shame of being caught would stay with a boy for a long time, reminding him and his peers of the importance of stealth. This shame-based punishment reinforced the social fabric of Spartan society, where the collective was always more important than the individual, and failure was not just a personal shortcoming, but a blemish on the entire group. This practice of teaching boys to steal also reflects a broader aspect of Spartan society, its obsession with creating the ultimate soldier-citizen. Spartans believed that weakness, whether physical or mental, had no place in their community. Boys were trained to endure hunger, pain, and hardship without complaint, and stealing became one of many methods used to toughen them. The idea was not to create thieves, but to create men who could survive in any circumstance, think on their feet, and outsmart their enemies. The Spartan focus on stealth was also practical in the context of warfare. In the 5th century BC, during the Greco-Persian Wars, and later in the Peloponnesian War, Spartan soldiers often operated in hostile territory, where stealth was vital for survival. Their ability to move undetected and obtain resources behind enemy lines gave them a strategic advantage. The skills learned during their childhood, including the ability to steal without being caught, were directly applicable to these military campaigns. Moreover, the emphasis on stealing food reflected the broader culture of austerity and self-reliance that defined Spartan life. Spartans were known for their simple lifestyle, strict discipline, and avoidance of luxury. This ethos extended to all areas of life, including the Agoge, where boys were taught that survival and victory were more important than comfort or wealth. Ultimately, the practice of encouraging boys to steal food while punishing them if they were caught served multiple purposes in Spartan society. It trained boys to be resourceful and stealthy, two critical traits for soldiers. It also reinforced the importance of discipline, honor, and self-reliance. Although this practice may seem harsh by modern standards, in the context of Sparta's militaristic culture, it was a necessary part of creating warriors who could endure the rigors of battle and uphold the legacy of one of the most feared and respected military forces in the ancient world. By the time a Spartan boy completed his training, he had not only learned to fight and survive, but also mastered the art of stealth, all through practices like stealing food. These skills, ingrained from a young age, would serve him throughout his life, whether on the battlefield or in the highly disciplined society of Sparta.